Okay, so this is what we had from last time. And I figured out how to fix my little bug, like immediately after everyone left. So I'm gonna go.
What did you do for
What's
that one?
up?
How did you fix it?
Oh, so I'm gonna, instead of setting the position, I'm gonna center it, and I'm gonna set the offset instead to 0.35. So let's see if it flips on this one. At least that's what worked on the other game, so hopefully it does the same thing. So I need to move dude bro. Oh, whoops. See. Yep. So now he's on the left side. And when I move him on this side, should be, yep, on the right. So apparently the offset of the box collider changes according to the sprite renderer being flipped. So like if I go to the sprite renderer and I flip it, it'll flip the position. But changing the position by itself doesn't immediately do that. So we could do it the other way, but we would just have to add more to our code. Like set its starting position X and flip it based on that. But yeah, that's fine. So offset works. So that's good.
That's good. All right.
So from last time, I think we're gonna add more enemies. Well, one more enemy, and then we'll have the player movement stuff. And that should be most of the game. We can just add coins or something at the end. So I'm gonna make another script. I'm gonna call this ranged enemy. And this should still do damage to the player, right? I think it does automatically. Yeah, damage by attack, so that works. So I'm just gonna copy this from the beginning. Most of them are gonna be the same except for the attack function, basically. I'm gonna go to ranged enemy. I'm gonna paste it. We have to say that we're inheriting from enemy controller. And at the top here, I'll just say public game object projectile. And then when we attack, we're going to set the attack animation. We're going to invoke that. And then we're also going to spawn a bullet. Actually, let me do that. Maybe I'll do it in here instead. Because it'll play like a swing animation, and at the end of the swing animation, we want to spawn a bullet. So that's going to be about 0.1 seconds later anyway. So let's try that. Game object bj equals instantiate projectile at transform.position. And we need to give it a rotation, so I'll do I think we can do player.transform.position minus transform.position. Maybe. I did this before. Vector 3, float angle. Yeah. Let's just copy that. So I just need to do this part in there. Yeah, so I spawn it with this position, this rotation, and it should be player.transform.position. I think this still worked. So just look at the player and then aim toward it and push it forward. I don't even think we need this one. I don't know. Let's see. gonna make a whole new enemy. I'm also gonna save this one to a prefab. Prefabs for the platformer. Melee enemy. I'll need to add stuff for the camera later. We need to save our player once we have him built up more. I'm just gonna copy this, paste it to the other dude. The range guy, so we don't have to worry about that later. We don't need an attack collider for this, because we're going to give it a projectile instead. So let's see. The rigid body. We need a sprite, obviously. Let me find it. Let's do like this one. Put him over there. Gonna give him a new drag of 7. We're gonna give him a capsule collider. Don't want to forget that again. Like 0.5 or something like that. Close enough. And the ranged enemy script. I put here 20 damage. I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna paste this so I can just see side by side what I want to add. Health image. Shit, if I can drag it right. Chase range. We're gonna give him a bigger chase range and a bigger attack range, so like 15 and like 7 or something like that. Wall layer. I think there's 1 and 0.8. 8.5 or something, I don't know. Can remove it. We just need to make a bullet now. So I'm gonna make a 2D object. Baseball. Don't know why he has a baseball, but whatever. Oops. 125, it's a trigger. I'm gonna add rigid body to it. This one's gonna have a gravity scale of 0. And it needs a new script. So I'm gonna go to our folder for the platformer. Add enemy. I'm just gonna call it baseball controller, whatever. Probably just use the same script as the other games, which would be bullet controller. These are easily reusable. If you need to make a new script for it, we can just drag that script onto it. The only difference is it's when it hits something, it's trying to grab a specific script, and that's not going to work because they don't have this specific script for the platformer. We could make it work for any script, or if we have like an interface, that'd make it easy. I'll show how to do that in a couple weeks probably. For now, we'll just do it this way. Do speed, rigid body, damage. It's going to be a float damage this time. And we're going to say, yeah, add force to up. we're gonna just do enemy controller. It should really be called platformer enemy controller, but it's fine. As long as we remember later that it's called that, then it shouldn't be a big deal. So damage them, and that should be good. I think anyway. Let's see. Baseball controller. 800 or something. I don't remember what a good number is for it, but we'll see. I'm gonna drag it into the prefab folder and drag the prefab into the ranged enemy. And delete. This guy doesn't have animations yet, huh? So he's not gonna animate. He's gonna break. Let me see. So when he's moving, set rule attack, set rule move. Okay, so yeah, just 2 rules. Cool. So we'll do that. So we'll do animator. And for starters, we're gonna drag in. Why does he have that animator? That's not good. He shouldn't have that animator. Let me just do this first. It should make a new animator as soon as I drag a new set of sprites onto him. So we'll go to the walk animation. We'll drag them on to ranged enemy. Ranged walk. Yeah, so new animator, cool. So that's just what we needed. I'll add another bool and I'll call it attack. With the right spelling, hopefully. And then I'll add one more, which is gonna be the attack, or walk and attack, yeah. This one's the attack animation. Ranged attack. Same thing as last time. We're gonna add 2 transitions by right-clicking and go to make transition. So to and from. So from the attack to the walk animation is just gonna exit. It's gonna be a time-based thing. And then for going into the animation, we're going to switch when we have a certain condition met. I'm going to just click the little plus, and when attacking is true, then we switch the animation. That should already work. Let's see. Waiting for the bugs. Huh? And of course, 0 my Z position, so I can see anything that's happening. Yep. Oh. Cool. Okay. So we're gonna go to the enemy. We're gonna go to freeze rotation on the rigid body 2D constraints. Yeah. Now we're fine. Yep. And we just need to check for actually this bullet projectile should be checking for the player controller, not for the enemy controller. Duh. Player and not hurt. Then player player controller dot damage. Also, if you hit a wall, you destroy yourself too. Cool. So that should fix it. We don't have our health displaying anywhere, so it's not gonna really show up at all, but also it would help if we added the player tag to the player. And I think he has a collider, right? Yeah, he has a capsule collider, so it should work. Yep, so he takes damage. And notice how he's not... Oh, shit. Notice how he's not throwing until like the end of his animation, which is just what we wanted. We can time this better, too. I just said 0.1 seconds, and it's, like, close enough. So, that works. Neat. Let's see. For some reason, when the enemies get closer to the player, they stop moving as fast. I don't know if that's like always happening, or it looks like it's always happening. This is about to add force to the right times direction times ground speed. So this should always be moving toward the player, but and when they move, direction times regular speed. Yeah, so it should be working fine. Weird. Okay. I'm gonna copy this raycast. Oh shit! Don't exit. Just Control C. Yeah. So we're gonna go to the player controller now and have him actually move and do stuff. Kind of important. So we're gonna go public float speed rigid body 2D bod. Might be it for now. Let's see. So get component. Rigid body 2D. We're gonna say in, oh, we need to save our input, right? So float input x. And we're just gonna save this for now, animator anim. So we'll have an animator that controls what the player is gonna be, what animation the player is gonna be playing. So input x, and I'll do bool can jump. Cool. So we're gonna do a raycast the same way on the enemy. Instead of shooting left or right though or diagonal, we're gonna shoot straight down. And if we're hitting the ground, that means that we can jump. So if there's a floor below the player, then that means the player can jump. Dog, please. So we're gonna copy this one. We need to actually put the layer. So public layer mask wall mask, I think it was called, or wall layer or something. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. Wall layer, yeah. Direction doesn't matter. We're always going to be aiming straight down. Ray length, I guess we can put probably going to be 1 usually. Maybe a little less if we want to be more precise with our movements or whatever, but it's fine. I'm gonna do input x equals input dot get axis. I'll do get axis raw. That's fine. I'll do horizontal. If input x not equal to 0. Then we're gonna move to the left or right. Dot add force. Transform dot just back to 2 dot right times speed times time delta time. And then we'll say something like if hit dot collider dot. Can I compare tag? I can't compare tag. Cool. To wall. If we hit a wall, let's do this too. If hit dot. Actually, we're already comparing to the wall. It's fine. If hit is not equal to null. Dot collider is not equal to null. Then can jump equals true. If we can jump and we push up, I guess. Put dot get key down. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do W or up. Keycode dot W. Where's my vertical? There we go. Or input dot get key down, key code, up arrow, then we jump. So if we can jump this floor below us and we push up or W, then we're gonna jump. Just make sure that's closed all the way. And we'll say can jump equals false. And I'll do bond.add force, except for we need to add a variable for that. So I'm going to do like float jump height, do to like 15 or 20 or might have to be like 1,000 because it's times delta time. Well, we'll just do it this way. Vector 2.up times jump height. We're gonna omit the delta time in here because you're not constantly pressing the button down, you're only pressing it down once. So I don't think it's worth checking by time delta time every frame, because only push it for one single frame, and that's only when it matters. So I'll just do it this way. Add force up, and that should be good. So let's see if it works. Yeah, dog is freaking out. Great, cool. We can also save the enemy as a prefab. Close out of both of those so they don't get in the way. So speed. We'll make him have a little more drag, but a little more speed, so like 950 or something. Let's do jump height at like 20. Wall layer is wall. Ray length is 1. Let's actually view our ray before we do that. Debug.draw ray, and we'll just paste this there. Yeah, so we're just going to draw a ray from our position straight down. You can also, if you want to be more accurate, instead of drawing straight down from the player itself, if it draws from the middle of the player, then you can draw from the bottom of the sprite renderer, because that's where you're supposed to be checking anyway. And you can do like a for loop check all the way across that for more accuracy, but we'll just do one for now. Oh. Stupid. Okay, so sorry, times input x. Sorry, we can only move to the right if we don't multiply by our actual input on that one. That kind of defeats the purpose. So left, right, push space or push up, and my dude's moving, but he's not going anywhere, so the jump height is way too low. 300 maybe? I don't know. Okay. So let's do like 1250. Mass is 1. Gravity scale is 2 maybe. Let's do okay. Not awful. He's moving at least. It's kind of zip zooming now. Okay. Close enough. And then right 2. Let's do that a little bit. Just tweak your numbers and see what you like, but Unity's built-in physics are a little weird, so it's going to be kind of floaty no matter what you do. So I'll just do that. Also, you can notice that he's jumping now, that the range enemy is actually aiming for the player. Like the balls are actually going a good ways away and pretty fast. It's a little slower actually for the projectile. 700 maybe? I don't know. So my thing's not full screen well. There you go. So let's see if we can actually move. We'll animate the player, not move. So I'm gonna go to the player sprites. So we have a damage a fall, an idle, a jump, a landing, and a run animation. So it's going to be pretty complicated. A little bit. To make sure our transitions are right. So let me do this. I'll add robot damage. Robo damage. Let's fix these so they actually go in the animation folder. Do we have an animation folder? I think I always ask this and we never do. We do not. Okay, shit. Oh well. So damage, we need falling. Robo, falling, start. We need to add a single frame animation for him just holding that little animation. Otherwise it'll loop. We don't want that one to loop. So idle. Robo, idle. So start jumping. Robo, start, jump. And then landing. Oh, here's a helpful thing. So if you're doing an animation, but there's only one frame, then you can't just drag it on to the object. It'll treat that as you changing the sprite or adding another object that's like as a child that is a sprite. So instead you have to go to the animator, or the animation tab, sorry. You'll do this little drop down. You'll see all the other animations. You're going to create a new clip. And it's going to be robo. I forget what we were going to call it. And then we were going to do another falling one. So I'll call this one falling stay. And you just drag onto this little window on the side. And you'll see it right here. If you click the little drop down, you can see the little sprite for it. So that's how you do single sprite animations. And you can make as many as you want over here. You just have to make sure they had different transitions to and from them. Or you can just play them straight from code. You can say anim.play robo damage and it'll play this specific animation when you call it. So I was going to do landing hold. So I'll make robo landing. Then I'll drag in landing. And then we just need run. I will drag in robo running. Cool. So now we have all these animations, and we need to know what to do with them. So it's gonna look a little weird for a second. So our default animation is gonna be the idle. So we're gonna right click and go set as default layer. It's gonna be just over here. And we have a damage animation. We have running. We have start jump, which will lead into falling start and falling stay. And we have a landing. So we're just going to do these by adding transitions to and from these different clips, and we're going to have them be set by different parameters. So the parameters we want are if we're moving. So if we're moving, then we want to play the running animation. If we're in the air, we want to play the jumping animation. And if we're hurt, we want to play the damage animation. So we're going to make 3. I think we need a float for moving, a bool for jumping, and a bool for damage. So 1 float, 2 bools. Hurt, I'm going to call it, and I'm also going to call 1 can jump. Can jump just means that we're on the floor. So if can jump is false, then that means that we're in the air. So we're going to do start jump, falling start, falling stay, then landing in that order. So we're going to go to our player controller, and we have the animator up here. So we're just going to duplicate, and I'll do n equals get component animator. So get the animator component, and we're just going to say in these different parts in the update what to set the different parameters to. So when we're moving, if input x is not equal to 0, I'm sure we can just do this. We can do anim.set float, and we'll do moving, and we'll do input x. This might work better if it's a bool, actually. Let me see. So in our first transition, we can do moving, yeah, less than or greater than, okay. Because it can be negative, so it's going to be messed up if we do it that way. Okay, I guess we'll do 3 bools. That's fine too. Come on, there you go. Okay, so do set bool, and we'll just say input x is not equal to 0. So if input x is not equal to 0, then moving is true, else it's false. So if we're not pushing left or right, then it's going to be false. So that should work pretty easily. We'll set, actually I'll set these at the bottom just in case. Just in case things get all messed up. I'll do anim.set bool. And this time we're going to set the can jump bool to can jump because it's already a boolean. So once we start hitting the ground, then it's going to set it to true, and it should transition from the falling animation to the landing animation. And then after the landing animation, it'll just switch to one of these, depending on if you're moving or not. So, should be easy enough. I'll do one more bool. Bool hurt. I'll do the same thing as with the enemies. I'll do hurt equals true. Invoke reset hurt after 0.1f. Just make another function called reset hurt. I'll do hurt equals false. So hurt equals true, hurt equals false, and then at the bottom here we're just going to say hurt is equal to hurt. Then we just have to set up the different transitions, which is going to look confusing. You can do layers for animations, but I'm not sure how to do those actually. You can put animations on top of one another and blend them together, which cool. I don't do art, so I'm not an expert on it. So yeah, I just do a bunch of animation transitions and stuff. So this is going to switch from idle to jump when can jump is false. This is going to switch to that one, switch to that one, to that one. So this should play immediately after the animation is done. It's 2 frames anyway, it shouldn't really make a difference. So once you just start jumping, you'll just stay in that animation. Yeah, so start jump, falling start, and oh shit, never mind. Settings. Okay, I guess it'll just switch right after. That works out. And then this one, we want to make it a lot less. We play once. Switch to the landing animation. But we want it to happen only if can jump is true. Angle this a little better. Because it kind of go up and curve, and then this will go down to either this one or this one. And this one to this one, this one to this one. So kind of like a circle. So it has an exit time. Guess let's not do even exit time. Just make it do this. So if moving is false and you just landed, then switch to idle. And this one, if moving is true, you just exited this animation, then go to running. Same thing for these. Just gonna drag down the transitions. They might not look nice with the transitions right now, but you can just tweak these settings and blend them together and make them look better if you want. Moving is false, go to the idle animation. If moving is true, then go to this animation. And then we'll just do this. This one's gonna be a little weird. This one's kind of outside of all these other ones. Maybe these ones. Maybe these three. Let's see. I think these will all go back and forth. That's how it looks confusing after a little bit. So if we take damage and in any of these states, then we'll go to this one. We might have to just have all these aimed toward damage, but it shouldn't be a big deal. So same thing, if we just stopped being damaged and we're moving is false, except for we also need to check for if we're on the ground, then we go to that animation. This one we just switch to it if hurt is true. Same for this one, if hurt is true. And same for this one. I'm going to just drag this down so it doesn't play animation 18 different times. If hurt is true. This one's going to say, oh shit. Okay. If you put the transition really, really short, then it might like break it and not know what to do. So there's a big transition. Christ. Just do it like that. Or there-ish, I don't know. Transition offset. Weird. Okay. So we'll add a condition and we'll say if can jump is false, then we just go to this one. And then we'll go to this one if can jump is true and moving is true. This should theoretically work every time. Let's see if it looks a little funky first. Also first, I'm going to add the camera controller. Do we have just a generic camera controller? Maybe this one, maybe. Yeah, just give it a target and do that. Yeah, that works. So camera controller we'll just add to the camera. And we'll just add the player as the target, and we'll add like 7 as the lerp time. Let's see if it breaks. Oh yeah, we're not flipping our sprites either, huh? Okay, so we can move left and right. Oh, duh. Cool. So I forgot one transition. If we're running, we can also jump. Duh. So we'll just go switch to this. If can jump is false, we'll play this animation. I was wondering, I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of stupid. And one more thing, we'll say, oh shit, don't open Word. What the fuck? Get out of here. So if I'm gonna play a controller, I will say one more thing. We need to get our sprite renderer. Our renderer equals get component sprite renderer. I'll say rend dot flip x equals input x is less than 0. So if we're moving left, we're gonna flip our sprite to the left. Otherwise, it shouldn't matter. It should just be false. Switches to this one. Can jump is true, moving is true. Can I jump multiple times? I never tried that. Because I can jump twice for some reason. Do this. Can jump is false. Maybe my thing's just too long. My ray length. Also why it might be better to check from the bottom of the sprite renderer, because then you can see how it's gonna. Yeah, see, now it's not long enough. Yeah, now I can't jump at all. What if I make it like 0.85 or something? I go a frame forward. Yeah, so now it's on the floor. Yeah, so now it's not. Oh. It's a double jump though, weird. Weird. If hit collider is not equal to null, ray length, hit the wall color and the wall layer. If can jump and you push one of those, then can jump is false. Interesting. See if that works any better. So fixed update. Yeah, that works better. Oh, I also didn't change his the ray length again. Maybe that's why too. Let's see. Yeah, so it works better. Fixed update checks less often than update. It's better for player inputs and stuff like that. Except for it's kind of weird because I'm pushing up and my dude's not like moving when I push up. Weird. Okay, that's fine though. Okay, so my player moves and animates kind of reasonably well. With just 3 lines of code, easy. Just this can get cumbersome after a while. If you have different states you want to be in, then this will be a mess later. Yeah, I feel like layers would be helpful for if you're like doing different limbs, and like his left hand is holding a sword or something, then you can do that on a layer, and you could just switch the layer based on what weapon he currently has and stuff like that. So that's where layers would come in handy, and it would make this less confusing with like 6 or 12 different statements. But yeah, for now that's pretty basic, just transitions between different states. So now let's add an actual like level to this thing. So we have a ranged enemy and a melee enemy. -2. let's just fix this map up a little bit. If you have questions, now's a good time because I'm going to be messing with the scene for a little bit instead of actually coding stuff. So I don't know, we can just keep this pretty simple for now, just so we're not taking 40 minutes to make one map. Whoops. I'm just gonna make another one over here. Good enough. I'm just gonna layer this a little better, or organize it, I guess. So melee enemy 1 is gonna be over here. You might have to be, yeah, it's really close. I'm gonna put him up a little higher. This one's gonna be tricky. So that enemy's probably fine there. Add one more little thing in case he needs to jump up there. I will add the range enemy should be up on a little platform. And then I'll throw another ranged enemy over here. I'm gonna make one more enemy. Let's add a coin too. I have a coin sprite, so let's see. Coin. I don't know why there's 2 of them, but whatever. It's fine. 0, 0.5. Add a circle collider, 2D. Trigger. I'll give it a coin tag. And that should be good enough. Just duplicate it. So that works. Let's see. We have one more enemy to do. It is this Santa looking whoever the hell he is. I don't know why he's Santa, but whatever. Put him right over here at the end. I think we have that thing still pasted. Yeah. So he's gonna be a melee enemy. So this works out pretty well. Capsule collider 2D with a little bit less thing. Oh, we also have to be able to kill enemies, right? Let's do that real quick after this. Give him like a max HP of like 40 or something. I'll give him like 650 and like 900. I don't know. That might be too much, but it's fine. Chase range is going to be 10. Attack range is 1. Yeah, make him do a little bit faster attacks. And then he should work immediately. Let's see. Oh, not immediately, because we have to add the animations. Duh. So attack animation, I'm going to drag onto him. Send to attack, and we need walk. Real quick again, just 2 transitions. One is based on time, and the other is if our parameter called attack is true. So theoretically this should all work. I'm gonna one more thing. Just drag a little bit of ground. Oh, I forgot to put the background though. Let's see. So I have a skybox, sprite, whatever you want to call it. Just put it on layer -5 or something. And another one. I don't want it to be childed. Get out of here. Works. Just push them over a little bit so they don't overlap at all. Except for this is strange. It's fine. Make this better or worse later on, but it works. So let me grab my player. I'm gonna drag him. No rigid body. Cool, so we forgot that. Rigid body 2D. Freeze rotation on it. Oh, and we have to have the UI, duh. Zero and 0. It just kept this from before, so that's why I wasn't noticing it. Drag the health. I also gotta add the animation. Shit. Okay, time to do this again real quick. Send to enemy, so I'm gonna click the little box again. I'm gonna click the attack collider, and it's gonna be enabled. I'm gonna go to the walk animation, click it again, go to attack collider, disable it. Yeah. And so this one should be checking for send to enemy instead. Okay, now we should be good. Oh, he's way too fast. Oh, because his rigid body speed. Shit. His rigid body has no friction, so he's just zooming. 6 or so. 6.5, I think. I think their ranges are too short too, or their chase length is too long because they keep on running off of their little path. I get to like 6-ish. Make the melee one to like 9-ish. 25 maybe, I don't know. And then I'll just drag in enemy there. I'll drag in the player there in case we need him later. He's still attacking all the time. I drag one of his attack sprites on there? That's kind of weird. Oh. Let's flip these. That might be better. A lot of dumb mistakes that can happen when you're doing this. Oh. I flipped them, but I didn't flip the conditions. So this, not an exit time. This happened when attacking is true. This does have an exit time. Come on, there you go. Yeah, now we should be good. Okay, thank God. Just a bunch of tedious stuff that I don't remember doing anywhere. Oh wait, where'd he go? Oh, he's on a different Z position. That's why. Yeah, so he's still attacking me and stuff. So he's just dying over there. So 2-ish more things we need to do. We need to first off set it so that when we land on an enemy's head, then the enemies die. It's helpful. And also we need to make it so that it displays our health and current coins. Just add the enemy tags to the enemies real quick. I'm still recording, right? Yes, just making sure. What happened where I would hit a button on accident. So we're gonna do 2 things in here. We're gonna be using UI. We're gonna do an image for our health. And we're gonna do money text, a text for our money. Also an amount for our money, int money. So we'll do on collision enter 2D. There you go. If collision dot game object dot compare tag to enemy, then we're gonna check and see if we're above them. I think I can check that by just grabbing their whatchamacallit, their sprite renderer. Right? Oh yeah, it's easy. Cool. So I'm gonna see if we're hitting enemy, and our velocity dot y is less than 0. So if we're falling down, then we need to also. So if we're jumping up and we hit enemy, we don't want to do that. Yeah. So then we're just gonna do bounds y equals collision dot game object dot get component. I'm gonna grab their sprite renderer. I'm gonna do bounds dot size dot y over 2. So if you do bounds dot size, that's like the entire sprite. We want to check only the upper half of the sprite. So if we're above that, then we should be good. If transform dot position dot y is greater than collision dot transform dot position dot y plus bounds dot y, bounds y. Well, this is all necessary. It might just work with the first line, but it's fine. Dot add force vector 2 dot up times our jump height. You might want to like halve your jump height or something. Force. And then collision dot game object dot get component enemy controller dot damage by like 20 or something like that. And then I'll do if collision dot game object dot compare tag. If we hit a coin, then coin money plus plus collision dot game object dot set active to false. So if we hit a coin, then add money and disable it. If we hit an enemy, then we're going to check and see if we're above the enemy and if we're moving downward. And if we are, then we're going to push ourselves up and damage the enemy by 20 or something. You can change that amount into a variable if you want to customize it. In the old one, it was just kill them. In the one I tested out. But because we showed off the health bar, I'll just make it a number that we can see. So in fixed update, we're gonna go health image dot fill amount equals mathf.lerp health image dot fill amount by HP over max HP by time.delta time. I guess this might have to be fixed. Yeah, fixed delta time now. So it kind of works a little bit better. Times 10f or something, I don't know. And then we'll do money text dot text equals x plus money dot to string open close. We'll just make some UI real quick. Create UI. Let's do image. No. Shit. Okay, we're gonna do UI create canvas, so it doesn't child it to whatever else we have in the scene already. Then I'm gonna add an image. Do this so I can see it. Alt click the top part so it goes to the top, so it anchors to the top of the screen. I give 75. I'll do like 200 by like 10. Make it black. Give it a wall sprite. Make it filled from horizontal, so we can drag it like that. Duplicate it. Make it green. Name it health. I'm gonna just add a little text thing. Actually, let's add a little image and then a text thing. I'm gonna add another image. This one's gonna be like 25 by 25 or something. I'm gonna anchor it to the top still by negative 80. I guess 100 is fine. Do it negative 50. 87.5. 87, I guess, that's fine. Coin. Okay, not big enough. 50 by 50. That works. I'm gonna add a text thing to this. I'm gonna make it overflow by like 15 by negative 5 even. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I'll make it like yellow or something. Maybe bold is better. It's less readable. Shit. Italic? I guess italic. That's fine. Just tweak the colors all day if we want. We can even give a little background to this, like a little square, just so we can see what's there. But it's fine for now. I'll just name this money text. And then I'll go to the player, and I'll drag in health to health image and money text to money text. Also, we want to change our coins so they're actually visible. That'd be a good thing to do for the game. All those Z positions are -11, which does not make them visible. Just shift tab everything to make sure it's all 0. Yeah, everything. Oh, something's not 0 here. This thing's not 0. Okay, that works. Grab money. They have circle colliders with the They don't have trigger. They're trigger colliders. These ones. One trigger enter. That should work. Also see if the so that works. Object reference not set. What? Let's see, I can't jump. Weird. Okay, so you gotta be like right on top of their head to bounce. You can jump on enemies to kill them. I think my thing's not long enough because I'm not jumping all the time. My raycast might have to be longer. I don't like this. I don't like fixed update for mine because it doesn't check every single frame, so it's making stuff act weird. I'll take a double jump over that, over non-responsive commands, or inputs, whatever you want to call it. Oh well. But yeah, that's basically the game. It's a platformer game. Yeah, so now it's more responsive. That's fine. Cool. Yeah, good time. I think that's all for now. Next time, well, I guess next week already. Wow. I'll probably start the racing game, which, let's see what it looks like right now. The racing game turned out pretty well. Set it up so that there's 2 different players and there's 2 cameras following the different ones. A little countdown. Control one dude with WASD, the other with arrow keys, and the camera will follow them. And then this thing spins you out of control for a second. You have to hit the checkpoint before you finish a lap, which actually count as finishing a lap. But yeah, cool. So that's it for now. I'll hang out for another minute if anybody has any questions, but yeah.